character designs provided by Demon Artie. Be sure to follow her over on Twitter at ArtieDemon. Want to be first to have access to early artwork, concept sketches, exclusive art that can't be seen anywhere else? Then support Demon Artie over on her Patreon. Link in description below. Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 Podcast. I am your host, Crimson Sin. Be sure to follow us over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. So the long-awaited She-Ra and the Princess of Power, Legend of the Fire Princess graphic novel just came out, and it's awful. It's 130 pages of complete garbage. Nothing's added to the lore. I guess we learned a couple little things, but none of this stuff has any impact on the actual shows. It's completely worthless. But I implore everyone to join my Discord server, because as I was reading this, I was posting some pictures and having like a kind of a live reaction with everyone there. So if you guys want to get in on that kind of stuff, definitely join the Discord server, because it's unannounced and I just start doing something like I'll review an episode and I'll take screenshots and start talking about it. So definitely do that. So this is comic books, always been a big, huge part of my life, and art. That's so big when it comes to a comic. Even some of the worst comics with not very good stories, if you have great art, it kind of can save it a little bit, because comic books are a very visual medium. And the art here it's not like the cover's pretty decent, but it's just okay. It's not made for a action comic, because once the action starts up, oh my God, does it get so bad. Incoherent fight choreography. It's just awful. But even outside of action, it just doesn't really fit the aesthetic. The artist this isn't a good fit for them. Pauline, I don't know which one, Gigi or Pauline, I don't know who's the writer and who's the artist here, but not so great. Illustrations by Pauline. Do something else. Action is not your forte. I don't know any of the other things that any of these people have done, but we're looking at just mediocre art, and sometimes it's almost straight up goofy. And I'll show it and I'll point it out. We got some pretty funny faces. But okay, let's start. It opens up in the Fright Zone, and we got Entrapta. This is from the actual previews. You can see these pages, and I guess the story takes place anytime after season 1, but I don't know, because they end up seeing Entrapta, but then they all think that Entrapta was dead, but Angela's still alive, and they talk about the attack on Brightmoon. So I don't know where this is supposed to fit in the timeline. So we still have Catra being that word, she wants to protect Entrapta. Remember how when she was causing, Entrapta was doing all her stupid Entrapta stuff, and she was actually worried for her that Hordak was going to hurt her. So this is before Entrapta and Hordak became science buddies with quotes. And so I don't know, whatever. So she's still trying to get Entrapta to do stuff. She's like, hey, Hordak's he's losing patience. You got to do something to build weapons. He's going to basically kill you. She's like, oh, no, don't worry about him. So I guess they started their weird relationship. But she found the fire runestone. It's called the Spirit Ember. And okay, they're going to try to capture that. Okay, that's nice. We get to Brightmoon, and it's funny to see Angela, because we know she's not dead. She's dead. And here, the art, look at Bo's face. I don't know. I don't know if this is the right illustrator, but we get, the princess. Wasn't the table way bigger in the show? I don't know. And wasn't the tapestry different in the back? So there were some energy sources from this Firestone, and then Queen Angela's like, oh, we started to pick up these energy sources. You need to go out there and do something about it. Adora doesn't know anything about this. So she's like, what Firestone? What is it? I've never heard of this Spirit Ember thing. And then it's funny to see Glimmer and Angela interact, because I know how horrible she is to her. She basically said she was a coward before she died, and how Glimmer became a bad guy in the latest season. It's just funny to see this. But she's like, oh, let me tell the story. Remember in Hey Arnold, the Keeper of the Tales? It was Gerald. It's Glimmer in this one. So she recants the tale of the Fire Princess. Spoiler, we never get to see the Fire Princess, except for in this little silly story that may or may not be true. What was the point of this whole graphic novel? Anyways, so apparently there was this really powerful fire princess chick, and she had Rapunzel hair, and she protected her people, and she was wonderful, and she loved with all her heart, and who would have guessed she would have been in love with a body positive other princess girl? Who would have guessed? oh, she became so powerful, but then she wanted more power, and then she got super obsessed with gaining all the power she could possibly gain. And she even kind of looks like Sunset Glimmer from My Little Pony. So yeah, the same kind of bacon hair and everything. So she devoted her life to studying. So she like literally locked herself inside of her castle, and it looks like she aged a lot. She literally looked like a teenager in these first panels, and by the end, once she mastered the whole Firestone thing, she's like an older woman, like in her 30s. And oh my god, this is so stupid. As soon as she walks out of her chambers, like she literally locked herself in there for like 20 years. She walks out and sees her old girlfriend with some other chick. What, were they waiting there? Why would you bring your new girlfriend to where your ex-girlfriend like locked herself in there? Why would you do that? She sees that and that like really pisses her off. She gets super sad, and I guess you know how you're attached to your runestones. And she was so upset that it blew up and killed everybody. And look at Adora. Wait, what? Exactly. Everyone reading this comic literally just said, huh? What? Why? Huh? But then they kind of bring up the fact that, oh, this is just a legend. Is it even true? And she's like, oh, yeah, maybe it is, blah, blah, blah. And then all the other princesses are just talking. And there's so much in this that is completely worthless. This art. Look at this face. I don't know. It's just not there. But like, regardless if this legend is true or not, we need to go up there and either shut it down or try to find a way to harness it or heal it or do something. And then we get, the jokes are as good as they are in the show. And by that, I mean they're absolute garbage. They're not funny. This isn't funny. Bo is supposed to be kind of smart, right? But he's like, oh, we can make fire arrows. You can make fire arrows now, Bo. You don't need a magical stone to do that. You can just light your arrows on fire. Oh God, he's such an idiot. We get the other princess, and then, you know, I can hear their voices when I'm reading this. And you got Mermista basically complaining about everything. Oh, this whole thing blew up a whole kingdom. Why would we want to take that power? It's going to be dangerous. And of course, Glimmer wants it because he can use it as a weapon. The Horde, we get Soldier runs in. Oh, the Horde, they've been spotted, but they're not coming to Brightmoon. They turned west towards where the fire temple is, where the signal for the fire crystal is. And like, oh, we got to go. If we're going to heal it, take it, break it, whatever it is, we got to get there before the Horde does, because we can't let them have it. Okay, that makes sense. We see, of course, it's just Catra Scorpia. Literally just took 2 people to go do this. At least they showed a tank, a little hover tank thingies. At least they took a vehicle. They didn't bring any supplies, but they took a vehicle, which is nice. And we get kind of the same silly, stupid jokes that we got in the Crimson Waste, where Catra's like, oh, this sucks, I hate this. And then Scorpia is like, oh, let's go on a date. Like, she's trying to make it fun. I mean, look at this. And isn't Scorpia a little more stout here? She was like taller. Like, they literally kind of shrunk her a couple inches and just made her a little bit thicker than she normally is. But she wants to make a picnic. They're going to have a picnic date. It goes on. It's weird. They do this weird transition where she's like, oh, yeah, let's have a picnic. This is great. And then they flash back to when she invited her on the mission. So she's going to go by herself. So they're back in the Fright Zone, and she's like, so this takes place, I'm assuming it has to be right after season 1, because she mentions, oh, ever since you got promoted, we don't hang out anymore. So that has to be a few weeks, but then, this stuff that doesn't make any sense. So she's like, oh, we can hang out and stuff. And then Catra kind of basically invites her to go on the mission with her. But Scorpia took it as we're going on a date and not really a mission. So she brought like a picnic basket, and they make silly faces, and she's like, oh, wait, look at all the stuff I packed. So she like lays it all out, and look at the spread. Yeah, this is a lover's picnic. You know, Catra's kind of like impressed by it, like, oh, wow, look at all this. But the gag is it's just rations. It's like, it's not actual food. It's just reshaped rations. And Scorpia's like, oh, do you like it? She's like, it's a ration. She's like, oh, no, but I made it special. It's like, they're just still rations. You didn't do anything. So Scorpia is feeling like, oh, she's still trying to like, oh, I can make this fun. Look how great and fun I am. Remember how she was just had that mega boner for Catra? And we know now that she kind of got over her, at least in a romantic way. She realizes she's just a bad person. So it's kind of, I don't like seeing this because we know how it ends. We know how bad it ends for Scorpia and how hurt she got from all this. So it's kind of like watching that, you know, someone make bad decisions for another person because they love them. So they make bad decisions. They're talking, and then Scorpion tries to start to open up to Catra about like her past and everything. And I thought, oh, maybe we'll get some of that like background because we know vaguely what happened to her family. You know, her grandpa was the king and all that, but like, where are they now? Are they all dead? But she shushes her, and this is an odd observation. She kicks over the canteen, and it just looks like water. But Scorpion says that's vintage. So was this alcohol? Did she bring like a wine or something to get Catra drunk? She's supposed to be like 16, right? But I guess the other princesses so happened to be in the same exact spot. How many times has this happened? Like a dozen times in the show where the good guys and bad guys go somewhere and they get there at the same exact time. Even though they don't show the good guys took any type of transportation. They like walked there because they just walk everywhere. We just get wasted stuff here. In my mind, you know, I love comic books and like making a comic and you think about it. Every little kid, you know, made their own comic and stapled it together on line paper and everything. In my mind, I imagine every page costs $1 million. Every page is going to cost you blood, sweat, and tears. And they just wasted on some silly stuff that adds up to nothing. And like, look at Adora here in this profile shot and this straight on. It doesn't look like her. It's just weird. So they're walking around this, like, you know, it's like the burnt out forest because that, you know, was where the temple exploded or whatever. And everyone's complaining it's hot. Oh, I made an ice jacket. Oh, I don't need an ice jacket. Oh, my ponytail got stuck in a branch and I can't draw a face. Oh man, I hate these branches. Oh, Perfuma likes branches. It just goes on and on and on. It's just wasted. None of this adds up to anything. I'm guessing Adora, at this point in the story, still doesn't know how to technically heal things, and she's still she's worried that she won't be able to do it. She's like, "Hey, Perfuma, try healing some of these trees. Maybe you can do the healing because I've seen you do it before." She tries to heal it, and then she gets like an energy backlash or like a mental. They don't explain it. This should have been something that should have like had more explanation, like maybe show like her enter like a spirit state or whatever, and then you know she can actually see the fire spirit like push her out. Something instead of my ponytail stuck in the bushes and I can't draw a face. If anyone is more than, I don't know, 3 feet from the perspective, they just draw it with dots. It's so lazy. And then, you know, Perfuma's like, whoa, wow, I couldn't fix it. Like I could feel like an energy. But Mitt's like, did you try hugging it? You're a tree hugger. Then they kind of start like a little quibble here and they start like fighting. And okay, whatever, skip pages. We believe in you, skip pages. There's so much I'm not showing you guys. It's ridiculous. There's so much I'm not showing you, and none of it matters. Look how she's squatting here in this face. So they get to this fire temple castle thingy, and they're gonna like wait in ambush. And Scorpion's like, maybe we can have a picnic here. Oh God, shut the hell up! Look at this communicator. I thought their badges were communicators. Is this a different thing? And this is where little continuity things like that really do bother me because. You should be, Noelle and the story team should have been checking in on this, like every step of the way. And little things I think, oh yeah, by the way, that little walkie-talkie, don't do that. Use either that data pad thing that has a visual or use their comm badges on their badges. Don't do this other thing that shouldn't exist. Anyways, so they're waiting for the good guys to get into the temple, and I'm like, oh, okay. They get in there, and they're walking around, and again, just more wasted fighting. Not like action fighting, but like the characters fighting with each other. And they're walking up there and they kind of like, oh, why don't you teleport us? Well, I don't want to waste my teleports. Remember how she has a limited number of teleports that was never defined? Is it a number or is it like gasoline to where she can do one humongous teleport and be all out? Or she can, you know, no matter the distance, it's a number of teleports. They never explain it, but it's like, here, guys, just run up here. Perfuma, why don't you make like a vine bridge? And then everyone could just skip the stairs and go here. She's feeling like she can't do it. And then Frost is like, oh, I'll just make an ice thing. We're wasting time. What's with the fighting? And then we get no dialogue pages. And they're just walking and look, there's bugs because that's cute and funny. Let me help you over this pillar, Frosta. Just stupid stuff. They see some first one writing. Adora can kind of read it and it's like Ember and Danger. Like we don't get a full thing. Adora doesn't want to like, she go, look at all these warning signs. This thing isn't safe. Let's just destroy it. But they want to harness the power. They want to use it because it could be a weapon they can use. Blah, 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 blah. Keep skipping. We get to a door. They can't open it. And then she opens it with the sword, like taps it and uses it to open up. And then we get the chamber where the fire rune stone is, the spirit ember. I'm thinking, when's the fighting going to start? They're literally at the ember thing. And I thought they're going to set up an ambush, but they kind of explain it, but it's really stupid. She turns into She-Ra and this should be your money shot. This should look amazing. It just looks okay. And she tries to heal it. And it starts to power up and everything. But then there's Catra. And hey, Adora, like the thing that everyone loves. And I don't like this at all. She looks like she's floating, like she's floating above the panel. She should be in. I don't like it when the characters spill out to the other panel. A little bit like if there's like a big action shot or something, but her clapping and making this little hand motion, it doesn't warrant that. But, they start talking crap to each other, and I'm like, boom, okay, fight's on. Let's start kicking some ass. They talk for 5 pages. Scorpio, hey guys, what's going on? She just walks in. What's up with that outfit? Oh, it's none of your business. Oh, we just had we're going to have a picnic. And then she goes on to explain this picnic, and even she was like, what the hell? Oh yeah, we've earned this, and and then Catra chases her off. Oh, stop talking about this picnic. They're just talking to each other. These are the bad guys. What is going on? Then Entrapta just bursts in with her Emily bots, and was the design always like this? Did it have these little triangles and eyeballs? It has a mouth and eyes. I don't remember this looking this way. Then instead of oh, here we go, here's the fight. No fight. Oh, Scorpia set up the picnic. She set it up. And then Entrapta's like, oh, look at these tiny sandwiches. And then they're having the picnic. Oh, I feel like an idiot talking about this. And then Adora as She-Ra's watching them have a picnic, and then they kind of see each other, and she turns away. He's like, is it Catra's embarrassed of this? What is going on? Is She-Ra, Adora jealous? Oh my god. Entrapta sees the fire thingy, the Firestone, the Spirit Ember. And she's like, oh yeah, I know. And then she goes into exposition dump. And this is where the good guys see Entrapta. Didn't they think she was dead? When does this take place? This would have to take place well after season 3, because even then both took up all the responsibilities at Entrapta. Oh, I'll be the Tinkerer, I'll make weapons, because then they found out she was still alive, and was that? I don't know. This whole thing confuses the hell out of me. So Bow and her just start talking about this fire ember thing. So they're almost helping each other. Oh yeah, I found this thing, and I couldn't get in here. We couldn't open the door, so we just let out a signal and know that you would get it and trick you to come here and open the door. So they're still talking. Finally, she brings in more Emily bots with faces for some reason, and finally we get the fighting. And my God, as stupid as the jokes were, as bad as the art was, just regular, just kind of silly art, no one on this, whoever worked on this book, doesn't know how to do an action scene. Because from here on out, it's all a big fight scene, flat angles, nothing's dynamic, a lot of small panels. I want splash pages. I want big boom. I want Adora getting her sword and jamming up one of these bots, and it's exploding, and we get a bunch of just the care though. Look at Glimmer doing this little she's doing her Zatanna electricity sparkle thing, and that's pretty much the extent of the action. It doesn't get better than that. Instead of using a sword, She-Ra makes a club, like a baseball bat, and thwacks one of these things. And look how bad this action is. Why make a bat? Just keep it as a sword. What's the problem? And then we get remember when this happened a couple times where Catra just tackles She-Ra, just I don't know, throws herself at her. It's not even an attack, and they end up on the ground. And someone explained the progression here. She ends up on the ground, and they're just on top of each other. And okay, She-Ra throws a punch. Did she hit her? Because we see the action, the impact. What we would draw this as an impact. Did she dodge it? Did she nudge her in the shoulder like they were playing freaking Slug Bug? Because then she's just standing, and then she's standing. So they're just talking, and she just pulls her sword out. Where did her sword go? Let's follow the action. She gets tackled. No sword. Hits the ground. Okay, we see the sword there, so it's in her other hand. Why not just swing the sword? She points it at her. Oh, come on. I'm going to beat you up now. And she turns into a shield, blocks it, and then we get back to the other action. It's just more boring, stupid stuff. But this is the only thing I like, because it kind of... Bo did this in season 4. It's Entrapta, we're both after the same thing. Let's study this thing together. We don't have to fight. And then look at this face, and you can tell that Entrapta still wants to be friends, but then she kind of oh, I can't hear you over the drill. She heard him. I guarantee that she heard him. That's the only part of the thing I actually like. But then she goes back to oh, I'm doing this thing on my own. I don't care. We're fighting. More bad action, just flat. Nothing's dynamic. The backgrounds are boring as hell. Again, no, more and more dialogue. And you forgot about the other princesses, didn't you? So they're fighting too, and Mermista's just pulling water out of anywhere. It just comes out of anywhere. At least in Last Airbender, Katara, especially earlier in the seasons, when she couldn't like draw out of this, just atmosphere, draw it out of the atmosphere, she carried a water bottle with her, so she would have some type of weapon on her. Mermista has nothing. She has a trident too that she never ever uses. So she's pulling out water, and her and Frosta also make a really good team because then she can freeze the water. So they're killing some of these bots. And I'm trying not to show full pages, but look at this. Someone explain to me what in the hell is happening. Perfuma ties up a bot. The bot gets loose. Perfumer tells the bot to stop. It shoots at Glimmer. Glimmer teleports, and then Glimmer yells at Perfuma. Why would she tell it to stop? Why wouldn't she keep using the vines to like attack it? Like, why did she stop? Like, why does this page exist? We get back to the fight with Catra and Adora, and look at these cheap, horrible, terrible backgrounds. This is just bad. This looks like the storyboard that you hand to the actual artist to do a real page, but this is just bad. She gets her cornered, and like, well, sword's coming down. Scorpion just catches it. She was hella strong. I'm talking. She can lift tons of weight. We've seen her throw tanks around, punch, full like metal objects and like destroy them. So she's strong enough to catch the blade. And I can do anything when I'm with you. And freaking Scorpion just owns She-Ra, owns her, makes her look silly, beats her ass. They start fighting a little bit more, and then we get kind of gets this like, oh, you looks like you have a new friend now, a new bodyguard. But didn't she know Scorpia? I know she was another Force captain, but wouldn't she be aware of all the Force captains? Like, those would be like your sergeants, right? And it doesn't look like a big army, so how does she not know who Scorpia is? I don't know. But Scorpia's like, she has a real friend now. Gadget pulls a shock stick out of nowhere because it wasn't on her body anywhere. Shocks her a little bit. Then she starts fighting with her fist and gets owned. One punched. She gets one punched. Boom, she's done. She's Adora now. She lost her power. Pathetic. Get back to Entrapta being, the Firestone Spirit Ember. It's going to be so great and wonderful. I'm going to start working on this thing. They're fighting. They're trying to basically like, you know what? If we're not going to work on it together or like at least peacefully do this, we're going to just destroy it. The robot grabs the Firestone. I guess that's enough to make it like go off. And it starts to overload. Like it starts like getting all super powerful. It even overloads the bot, destroys it. Silliness. The less said about this panel, the better. The bot's going berserk, so it's attacking everybody. And then we get more just like people being silly. Oh, your bot's going berserk. You need to fix it. I don't know what's going on. Why aren't we doing anything? The bad guys. This is too much trouble. Let's get out of here. They just run away. What? They didn't. Glimmer still wants to try to save it. She's like, try to heal it. And maybe we can stop this explosion, which is a good idea, but, Adora still doesn't think she can do it. That bot's still going berserk, and they didn't stop it or try to stop it, so it's starting to attack everyone. It attacks She-Ra as she's trying to heal the stone. It gets one of the arrows. Again, this is a confusing action. Bo shoots it. It blows it up. Look how close Adora is. The explosion. Look at this explosion. And then she's just standing there. She didn't even have her shield up, and it didn't even do anything to her. Like, whatever. We get some more just bad art, and not a bad idea. The idea they go for right here is actually pretty smart. Mermista wraps the spirit ember in water, and then Frosta freezes it. Not a bad idea. Kind of smart, but this art is awful. But it's too powerful. Breaks out. Lava starts spewing everywhere. Like, oh man, we got to get the hell out of here. Frosta is OP as F. She freezes the whole entire temple with no water. She just does it in a fire temple where there's like probably little to no, moisture in the air. Solid block of ice. What? Hundreds of feet deep? What the F? But they go, well, we did it. But it's, like, oh man, we can't get to the stone. We couldn't heal it. Why couldn't you heal it? She's like, oh man, I don't know. Like, because she's like, doesn't like her powers. And then they cheat the reference how, remember when Glimmer was like poisoned by Shadow Weaver and she couldn't like heal her from that? And then like Glimmer becomes Shadow Weaver's best friend in season 4. But the ice isn't working. It's starting to melt through. More no dialogue. they all go and hug and use the taste of the rainbow. Oh, wow, that's bad. That's stupid. Because they don't ever... I'm glad they brought this up, because these, at the end of season 1, they used the rainbow power of friendship to beat the Horde at Bright Moon. So they use the power of friendship, but no one glows. Remember, they all had their individual glowy, but they don't have it here. And that's enough to blow up the fire crystal thing. And I guess the reason why it was bad, and you probably saw in the panels, but I forgot to mention that it was artificial. The first ones made this runestone to, like, I don't know, try to control it or sap into powers, and that's why it didn't work right. And that's it. They beat it. They go in for a mega hug. Get back to season 1 Hordak, who never gets out of his chair. So he's doing that again. You know, what happened there with the fire tip? What made your failure? And Catcher tries to throw Entrapta under the bus. Well, it's Entrapta's stupid idea. And this is at the point where Entrapta and Hordak, I guess this is the beginning of their relationship. So he trusts her and doesn't trust Catra, as she shouldn't. And he's like, oh, basically, you're going to be punished for this. Scorpio just barges in and says, it's my fault. The mission failed because of me. I got in the way and I screwed it up. So if anyone's going to be punished, it's going to be me. Shouldn't be doing this for Catra. She's awful. And then I love this right here. He's basically saying, you're going to be punished for a breach of protocol. This whole show, every one of the Horde is a breach of protocol. No one does anything they're supposed to do. So Scorpio's going to take the blame. Catra feels a little bad about this, and, as she should. And she's out there on the balcony. She's like, hey, Scorpio, why the hell did you do that? You shouldn't have done it. You could have been killed for going in there. You're going to get in so much trouble. Just let me take the blame. She's like, no, I feel bad because I was trying to throw a stupid, picnic for you and I didn't focus on the mission. So it is kind of my fault that this fell apart. Cat's like, you didn't have to do that for me. She's like, what do you mean? But I did, but thanks. Okay. See, it's tragic because we know how this ends. We know how this relationship ends. So all this built up hope for nothing. Get back to Bright Moon, and Adora is sad about they failed. Look at this horrible face. And, we could use it to end the war, but it's okay. And I guess this is what this was all about. I didn't get this. I guess I kind of got it, but it didn't really matter. She's like, remember that thing about the Fire Princess, how she got jealous that she moved on and, everyone, and that's what made her sad. And she's like, I kind of felt that way seeing, after being with Catra when we grew up together and then seeing her with Scorpia, it kind of made me kind of jealous. Huh? But don't worry about that. We're your friends now. We moved on together. Group hug. 130 pages. Awful, awful, awful. This completely sucked. I pre-ordered this. It cost me $10. $10 for the privilege of reading this garbage. Don't buy this. This is terrible. I was hoping at least for some cool action, but nope. It's just bad. No consequences. We didn't get to see the Fire Princess. We don't know if that legend was even true. No, and then the Fire Emblem Stone just blew up. So nothing. We gained nothing. What a waste of freaking... This is digital, but a waste of digital paper. 130 pages. I can't stress that enough. 130 pages and nothing happens. 1 star. This is a complete F. Crimson Saint here. Thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single upload. If you have any tips or story ideas, hit us up on Twitter at C15Podcast, or better yet, join our Discord server, link in the description below.